So this video is a follow-up video from my video yesterday. And I don't think I've ever done a video like this where I felt the need and the compulsion to get on the next day and go, right, I need to do a video to kind of carry on, go a little bit deeper with the energy that came up yesterday. First of all, I just want to say thank you to so many of you that watched the video, but also you guys that actually posted and shared, which is extremely vulnerable when you share your story. And it's not just this video. I just want to say thank you to all of you for being such open books and having the courage to kind of come into this channel and express your experience in words and put it out there. That's the ultimate of being witnessed. And I really appreciate that because I know what it takes to do that, right? And that's what I am all about. You know what I mean? Truth, honesty, authenticity, safe space to be able to share, finding your tribe and feeling the vibe. You know what I mean? So thank you to each and every one of you, especially the video yesterday brought up a lot of energy to do with bullying, persecution, a lot of toxic divine feminine behavior. So this video is about reclaiming your power. Very Sekhmet, right? Okay, but Isis is very, very upfront and center with this as well. And Hathor, because we need unconditional love for self and, you know, the others, which are the persecutors, as it were, it's like it all comes into the mix, doesn't it? But let me just get into this video. So my first point is about, is it power given away or is your power taken, right? So power can never be just taken from you, really. It's always a sacred agreement for the lessons of growth, right? But like, if you look at it where you say, well, I gave my power away to that, and we can have a conversation about this where we just start this video because I really want to get into the nuts and bolts in this. And I would like to transform, alchemize, and change this experience, not just for me, but for you as well. Who knows that it was a sacred agreement that we come together as a collective and we rewrite the story, right? So up to date, okay, so we've come through the Sirius Gateway, which was from the 3rd and the 6th of July, which opened up all of this energy. It's a preempt to, well, we kind of went into lion season, didn't we? Because it's Leo is the astrology sign, which is really up front and center, moving into Lion's Gate. This is about sovereignty, power, prowess, presence. Is everything that the lion is, strength. So it's very, very interesting, but absolutely makes sense to me that, you know, this conversation is coming up. So this is a real raw, open conversation. And I thank you for receiving me because I felt very uncomfortable about speaking about bullies, because even recording the video yesterday, there was a level of uncomfortability with me. And I thought, because it's about people pleasing, what would the neighbors say? You know, I understand how this goes, and I'm going to share with you the Gospel of Marie, the way I understand this. And basically, this is your movie. So this is what really, really keeps me comforted when I go through really, really big initiations, big things go down, especially when there's like, you know, stuff like bullying going on. You know, these are the things that really rock our worlds and makes us feel extremely anxious, extremely uncomfortable. Your inner child, it's the worst case scenario for them. So when you feel exposed like that and you feel like the whole world's coming at you, I pause it because we know that we are master manifestors. We know that we are conscious creators. We know that we have a massive power and ability to be able to, it's our most natural ability is to be able to create and manifest and create magic, right? So it happens in the middle world. So if that's the case then, right, we have to understand that everything outside in our lives is a projection from within because we're like big mirrors. Even relationships, people, situations, when it zings you, what's your first natural thing you want to do is zing it back. Go, oh my God, it's really scary, and push it back. But hang on a minute. You're the one that created that situation, that scenario. You're the one who created that person in your movie because you create your whole experience for the reason of growth and transformation. Because if these things weren't coming up to you or happening to you, you'd have no traction. There would be no purpose in being here. So I always say to myself, it's your movie, Marie. You put that person in there. You put that person in there, that situation, even down to the sun shining today, you made that happen because it's like X, Y, and Z. So when you start to take responsibility, which is the key word of this whole life that we're living in right now, but when you take responsibility that you are a master creator, if that's the case, then this is my movie. Let me take responsibility for the characters I've put in my movie, and I'm going to receive the medicine they're giving to me, because the only thing that I've set that up for, the only reason for that is so I can feel something inside, which is most of the time, if it's shadow, it's going to be negative. So if I feel those emotions, I can focus in on that. That's my only focus. Don't worry about the DHL man. Okay. The DHL man is bringing you a parcel. Do you focus on the DHL man and check his pockets and go, take me to your car. I want to see what your car's like. No, you take the parcel because your focus is like, thank you, DHL man, for delivering me this gift. You open it up and inside it might be something you love, might be something you don't love. But that's what you're focusing on. Those are your feelings. So if you look at it like that, it changes the whole perspective. It cuts your fear down to like pretty much zero, because when you actually go, oh, I'm the one who's created this. Oh, well, there's a level of safety here. Okay, let me just understand what's going on here and I can work through it. But when you don't feel like that and you think the world is coming at you and you're not in control of it, you feel extremely unsafe and extremely vulnerable. So it's really important to actually have the right perspective when you're going through massive triggers, right? Because we are mirrors. Every single relationship that is in your life is showing you something about yourself. So if there is some woman or some man coming at you and really dumping their shit, instead of fighting it with resistance, you need to ask a few questions about this. Well, if he or she is coming at me and is bullying me and not making me feel very nice, then why have I put that character in my movie? What do I need to understand? And then the next question is where in my own being do I bully myself and make myself feel like shit, right? So as soon as you can take the experience as a mirror into here, then you're cooking with gas. Then you're like, right, thank you, moving along. And your experience in the lesson will start to unfold rapidly. You'll be able to come to the point where you can just open it up and, expose the energy and the frequency because it's repressed and then release it out of your being. That person, that situation will then move away. So this takes me to bullies and so basically what I call people that flex versus people that shrink. Okay, now this is what we experience. That's how I see life. There's only two people. You either come in as a bully and you've got so much spiritual ego, or you come in, or you don't do that, you go small. So you either shrink or you flex. Now here's the thing. Those are two programs that we have created. Pick whichever one you want because you one of them. I go really, really small, but we've picked those programs to protect ourselves because we're both coming from the same place. So to flex and be coming into a room going, yeah, I'm the big I am, and you're talking a big game, when really, actually, if anybody turns around to me and tells me how powerful they are in a conversation, it's exactly the opposite. Because if you feel the need to tell somebody how powerful you are, it means that you don't believe it yourself. I'm just me. I'm just vibing. And if you think I'm powerful, then thank you. You know what I mean? But I'm just doing my thing. But when somebody feels the need to tell you how I'm powerful, that means that they're not thinking that because they're verbalizing it, right? That's a flex. So if you are somebody who's just like, please don't look at me. I'm just going to go under the radar and tell people what they want to hear. And I'm going to show you my soft belly. I'm just going to be not a threat. Please leave me alone. You know what I mean? Please don't hurt me. Those are two different programs running, but they're both coming from a place of fear. So the big bully is shit scared. And the one that is shrinking is also shit scared. So those are just two programs that your inner child has chosen to protect you, right? But either one of them ain't vibing anymore. That's got to go. So now let's go to the next layer of that, okay? So if you have a bully, okay, coming in, and they are basically pushing you in a corner, projecting all of their stuff and just really knocking you around a little bit, then what they're doing is they're putting their foot on your head to actually make you feel like shit so they can bring that power of yours into their own cup. So they're going to make somebody else feel terrible for them to feel good, okay? Now, here's the thing. If you're the one that they're persecuting, you're allowing it. So that's the match made in heaven. Well, it's not made in heaven, but it's a perfect match because their agenda is they want to fill their cup because they're fearful and they haven't got much foundation or stability. You are really scared of them. So you are like, yeah, you're amazing. I'll let you bully me and all the rest of it. So you give them what they want. So you enable that. it's an agreement. Do you understand what I'm saying? So how do we disengage in that when you've got somebody who's constantly coming at you and you've got somebody who's constantly being small? It's a vibration match. Forget about the story, forget about the drama. It's a vibrational match. Okay. So you are pouring into their cup, actually. You're giving them exactly what they want, and they're drawing it from you. So they're happy with that. You're happy with that. It's a dynamic of enabling, and it's still serving a purpose. It might not be a great relationship, but it's one that's agreed on. Somebody's wheel's still turning. It serves you to keep staying small while he's bullying you or she's bullying you, and it serves them because they can carry on flexing. So nobody has to move from their current positions and face their shit. So we keep vibing with this relationship like that, and that can go on for years, right? That even happens in marriages or whatever. So I hope you understand, where I'm coming from with this. So how does one disengage from something like that? You change your vibration. How do you change your vibration? Take power back. Okay, so how do you take your power back? Basically, you go into my point I just explained. How is this person making me feel? I'm feeling really fearful. They're making me feel a certain type of way. Then you start to follow the breadcrumb trails back to yourself. What are the feelings I'm feeling? Okay, anxiety, fear. Is it bringing up stuff as a child because you grew up in an abusive household? Is it bringing up past life stuff? What's it making you feel? It's not okay to be me. So now very quickly it becomes not about them. It becomes about the feelings that you've got going on, which are shadow feelings. Get rid of that. Now off you go and work with that. Once you heal how you are receiving it, meaning your feelings, the vibration clicks, right? And then you move out of it. They can't match with you anymore because you've changed your frequency, you've changed your vibration. It's no longer a vibrational match. A vibrational match doesn't necessarily mean kumbaya. A vibrational match means negative and positive also go together, right? Do you know what I mean? If it's like that. So that's a very, very powerful thing because you're now taking responsibility for what you're feeling so you can disengage from the situation, right? So now, going back to projection, gaslighting, right? And things like that every single day, okay? You can't, you've got to say this, okay, in your meditations. It is so powerful, right? So this is another tool, okay? So now, basically, everybody's going through their shit. Everybody's stuff's coming up. So, of course, this is not going to change. This is the chaos that I speak about. So people are going to be offloading their stuff because all this stuff's going to be coming up. And if you're somebody who's to receive that all the time and you are the bin that they pour into all the time because you're just like, yeah, give me your shit. It's like that's just going to carry on and carry on, carry on. But we're in a time where the whole world is changing. So people are being challenged now to face their shadow and they don't want to. So there's a bit of a tantrum going on. So guess what? It's going to get more and more intense. So now more than ever is the time that you reclaim your power during this Lion's Gate. You step into your sovereignty. You step into your Sekhmet aspects. You don't have to burn somebody's face off. You just have to claim your power and come into your inner authority. How do you do that? Taking responsibility for your own energy and how this story goes because it's your movie. So this is what you say in every single meditation. Any energy I have given away or left behind, I call back to my being now. Any energy I have given away or I have left behind, I call back to my space now. Any energy I've given away or left behind, I call back to my heart now. And you will feel the energy start whooshing back. Do it before you go to sleep. Do it in the meditation in the morning, whatever. So important because we walk around and we leave something there and we leave something there. So you're giving your power away. So if you put it down on the table, somebody's going to pick it up. Don't leave your shit everywhere. Don't go to somebody's house and leave a shoe there like a 5-year-old. Get all your shit together. Leave with what you came in with. Do you know what I'm saying? So any energy I've given away, I call back to my space now. Any energy, I clear all the lines, all dimensions, all directions. You know what I mean? If any distortion to do with this, I clear it. And then I call it back, right? And then you'll have this sense of wholeness. So every single day, it's really important that we're clearing our energy. Remember in that old video, I say old, it was only last week, feels like 5 years ago. I spoke about, Hathor was talking about coming into your physical vessel. Remember, we're still working with Hathor. We are in Juicy July. Juicy July is all about manifestation and living joyously in the physical being, in the physical body. This is your temple. Clean your temple. It doesn't matter whether somebody's coming at you or not. Call your energy back every day because it's just natural. You walk around a mall and you'll just naturally just spread the light and then wonder why you're depleted because somebody was like, oh, I love that. No, calling your energy home. So I hope that helps, right? So now the story of a true teacher. I have 2 more points to go. So stick with me here, guys. The story of a true teacher. Now, I read this in a book the other day, which actually mirrored back exactly how it is, you know? So we're talking about projection here, okay? When somebody offloads onto me being a space holder, I mean, that just comes with a job, actually. Do you know what I mean? I am taking people all over the world. I'm working with people all the time. And, you know, I'm basically poking them energetically in their marshmallow spot. I'm going, how's that meal there? Because that's my job. I don't come at you, bro, but my energy will find those spaces that we need to go into, and that's where the wounding is. So for those that are willing to look at their stuff, I'll go, how's that feel? You go, oh, it's a bit sore, Marie. And I'm like, it's okay, but you're not going to punch me in the face for giving you a little poke, right? But then there are other people that will, even though they've come into your space and they've asked for your help, you know what I mean? What happens is all of a sudden the ego comes in, and there's like, that's when the projection breaks. That's when it happens. So I'm going to share with you exactly how this goes. So a true teacher is somebody who is now entering into a conversation. They don't want to be right. They don't want to be wrong. They don't really care about either or. They're just here, okay? And a true teacher is somebody who's walked their path through their own pain and their own wounding. A true teacher, if you're a starseed incarnate, we're very, very sensitive. We're sensitive to energy and frequency. And the only thing that doesn't shatter us into a million pieces is love. And that is why, because that's the truth, right? That's the truth of everything. So of course, we've already done so much wounding in our lives anyway. And here we are sat in front of the person, kind of like wanting to help by just reflecting back to them in a very neutral way where the truth could lie within them. So what happens is the higher self wants to step forward, the person who's receiving the teachings. And it's like, yeah, this is resonating. And then what happens is the ego goes, oh, hell no, slams it down, pushes the higher self back, comes in defensively, and that person who has sought your help, who is actually wanting received medicine, can all of a sudden go from like wanting to heal to all of a sudden, no, you're the problem, and come back at you quite intensely. And that's how hard and how powerful the ego is when it wants to hold on to control, to everything. And like this ego is saying, you just poked me in that wound, that hurt, and now I'm going to kill you. That's kind of like how it rolls. So to be a true teacher, you have to hold your space, and like we're very sensitive. All of us are very sensitive. So to have that come back and that projection, it takes a lot of energy to hold. And quite frankly, I'm drawing a line under that because I ain't taking that no more. It's just like, I've already given myself an ass kicking for the whole of my life and the past lives because of the path that I've walked. I don't need anybody else to do it for me. But you see, then that crosses over to the teacher. That crosses over to finding the divine balance between the chaos and the calm. So if somebody is projecting at you, this is what we're here to master, even myself. So now, do I just keep calm and let the energy roll through? No, I step up and I just say loving kindness. I just say, you know what? Like, we're here to heal. I'm going to hold space for you. And there is infinite amounts of love here for you. So when you feel ready to come to this space, I'm here for you. No problem. And then we remove ourselves from the space. There's no need to go handbags at dawn, as I say. So this is actually just us now learning a new way on how to hold our peace, right? Chaos and the calm. So that is the ultimate of the true teacher. But when somebody comes into the defense, when you're having a very open spiritual conversation, that is what's going on there. The ego's like, or rather the higher self is like gravitating towards the light. And then the ego comes in and says, no, get back in the house. No, you know what I mean? And that's what happens. So it's very interesting to observe what's going on there, right? And now my final point, okay, just to bring some reason why we're having a big conversation about bullying, why it's really important to find where you've been silenced and all of the things. It's only going to come into alignment with love. Only with love. That's the only way. So what are we talking about here? More love for self, please. More love for self. Thank you, Hathor. Loving, compassionate love, unconditional love, 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 love. Juicy July, joyous June, love for each other. If you have love for another, you've got immense love for yourself, right? So this is what neutralizes it all, okay? Now, the ancient story as to why we kind of like fell out of balance so much is because like this story of the divine masculine coming in and taking out the divine feminine, that happened eons ago, right? But it is our job in this current lifetime to balance up with our beings. And this is where the sexual abuse comes in. And this is where it's really, really prevalent. Okay. So basically ancient myth, and this is present over all cultures. They'll speak of similar stories. So basically the Grail maidens would sit around the well, and they were very, very special beings. There were 9 of them, and they would have like beautiful goblets, golden plates. So it was like pure gold. And they used to just give food to the strangers and the travelers that would come through. They would look after them, and it was just all love. They were the divine feminine. Now, one day a bunch of soldiers walked through, and they were like, oh, we're going to steal that gold. We're going to have those cups. We're going to have those plates. And they defiled them, meaning they raped the Grail maidens. When that happened, they knocked the absolute balance of the divine feminine, sacred and masculine, out of whack. And from that moment on, the whole world and Gaia was basically out of balance. And that is why we're having a conversation about this. So we're going all the way back there to all the way back here, right? So this is why we are having such conversations about this. So we're not going to get into the drama of it. We're not going to get into like, you know, the kind of anger and frustration. Work with the energies that I've offered you. And that is the pathway to acceptance, to joy, to love, because essentially that's where we all want to be anyway. Everyone is just reflections of each other. So the best way to do it is remove yourself from that space, highest timelines with the tools that I've given you. So this bullying is coming up for a reason, and we need to be the observers, not be in the chaos. So I just wanted to share this video because like I say, the responses that I read yesterday were really like, wow, you know, this is really, really powerful. And yeah, I just wanted to, you know, have a comeback, you know what I mean, from what I'd received from you guys. Because as I've always said, this YouTube channel is a co-creative experience. It's a co-creative special space. And, you know, like we work this out together. So I hope this video has helped in its medicine. Any energy you have given away or left behind, call back to yourself now. End of. Period. That's Anubis in the background barking. And he agrees. So, yeah. Anyway, I'll see you on the next video. Maybe there'll be another one tomorrow. Who knows? Seems to be a lot going on. Anyway, much love from me to you always. Peace.